This is a little video about the carnivore diet, and yeah, I'm going to share this journey I've gone on doing the carnivore diet. Chicken broth with tallow. So why would you do something like that? And doesn't it sound very not very attractive to eat only meat? Well, as you know, if you've seen my videos, I've been on this long journey and always had chronic conditions in my body, and drinking raw milk, which I've done for 5 years, mainly raw milk, raw soured milk, has helped me a lot, and I put on weight for the first time really in many years. But I still had things that were bothering me, and one of them was I felt I should have more energy. So I went looking on the internet, as we do, and I found a woman called Cara who has a wonderful website called Health, Home and Happiness, where she shares about the GAPS diet and her journey with her children, especially her oldest, who has had autism and who she has helped immensely. So go and see her channel if you like. And she has also talked a lot about the ketogenic diet, which I mentioned earlier. And what happens is when you remove all the grains and a lot of the sugars, it's definitely all the processed foods, but you have mainly fats and meats and vegetables, a little bit of fruit and nuts, you actually heal very powerfully. And so she found with her daughter that she has almost completely recovered with the GAPS diet and the ketogenic diet. So I went to see more about the GAPS diet, which I think has helped thousands of people and has completely healed autistic children. But the GAPS diet is also quite a difficult diet, and it's actually, you're drinking broth a lot of the time. So then I heard her talking about the carnivore diet, which had a fantastic effect on her body. And I thought, why not? So I went and had a look. And apparently the carnivore diet is not only eating meat all day long. It's much more detailed. And what you do is you actually eat all animal foods. So you have meat and every part of the animal really, broths. You can have eggs and you can have dairy products. So, and the fact that you can have dairy products made me think, I'm going to try this on my body, see what happens. So, and I just want to say straight away, I really don't believe there's any diet that's going to heal anyone completely, because it's all really, it's much more on a deep level. The whole thing of healing our body is also affected to our mind and our spirit. And so I've said this so many times before, the more you live your life from your spirit, the more you will heal. So, and I still believe that there's nothing in this physical world that's going to completely make you feel completely balanced and heal you. But the very powerful thing about this way of eating, I think, another thing I want to say is that this is not a religious thing. I mean, some people, they're actually fighting wars over diets, and I think it's really stupid, because we're all unique and we all need something different. So what works for me might not work for you. So fighting about what we eat I think is just really stupid. So, but what I love about this way of eating is that it's an elimination diet. And so you're removing a lot of things that your body might be reacting to. And I have a feeling I was reacting to milk because I've had so much milk. And that's often what happens. If you have too much of something, you start reacting to it. It was only mild, but I think I was. And meat, especially chicken, I think, is the most mild food you can possibly take in. because it has no allergens, for the majority of us. And I think with all meats, we actually digest them very well, and especially when you have fat with it. So you have to have your fats, animal fats, with it. So I got out my tallow. I had lots of very, very beautiful tallow, which I've never really eaten because I didn't like it. And I've had it with my broth. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning now. I haven't felt hungry at all. That's what's so beautiful also. You don't eat very much. You don't need very much food because it's so nutrient dense. So you have to have a lot of the fat, and I'm putting the tallow into my soup, and I just actually really, really love it. Broth in the morning, when you get hungry, as the first meal is just the way to go, I reckon. Another thing I love about this is it's so simple. You don't have to think anymore. Just eat something from an animal. And also, when you decide it, I feel it's so tasty. It's so satisfying. You feel so satiated. I think it's called satiated. You feel so satisfied in your body. And one thing to remember is you have to make sure you have lots of sea salt and water. And so compared to the ketogenic diet, where you actually have to think about many different, especially potassium, but many different things that you might have to supplement with. You don't have to do this here because you're getting everything you need. And even the vitamin C, because people ask, how can you just live off only animal foods? But apparently it is so nutrient dense, you need nothing else. And that's what I sense. So it's so fun for me because I've tried so many things. And I'm just not doing anything else but eating this. And so I've taken away my vitamin C and my apple cider vinegar and all the things I used to do to just see what happens to my body. And this is my third day. And the very first thing I felt was I felt very peaceful in my head. Because one of my main problems has been dizziness and a feeling that just my head is not well. And so this is definitely not to lose weight. I'm hoping to actually put on weight at some point. So it's just so fascinating how foods can heal to a great, great extent. So I'm going to share this with you if you like. I'm going to share what happens to my body, and maybe you might feel this would be something to try for a period in your life. And talking about the whole thing of eating a lot of animals, well, I've talked about holistic management on the other channel also, on my first channel, Katrina Rudolph. And actually, when we put the animals back on the land and let them graze in a holistic way, where they're grazing high grass, they're actually healing the earth. They're pulling carbon into the soil, and we're building the topsoil of the earth. So our animals will actually heal the earth. So when you're eating grass-fed animals, there's nothing to fear. And it just is so wonderful. So I'll be doing different videos about making butter, making ghee, making different very simple meals. So this was an introduction to the carnivore diet. So beautiful. See you, my friend.